Hi friends, and welcome back to Raft. Today we're doing another mod showcase featuring a few quality of life mods. These mods individually don't alter the game a whole ton, but each of them change something annoying from the base game. So altogether, these mods, or any combination thereof, make Raft just a tiny bit more enjoyable as a whole experience. As always, the mods are linked in the description, and be sure to check any of them out that caught your eye throughout the showcase. But without further ado, let's jump into the quality of life mods. So we've just come back from a long day of resource gathering, and we've got a very full inventory of a lot of things. And as you can see, my chests are also rather messy, which is where this handy dandy sort inventory mod comes in. If I just tap Z, you can see it rearranges all of our chests to have nice and reorganized materials. It doesn't do it in any particular order from what I can tell, but it does make it a whole lot easier rather than trying to restack all of your items. Nicely paired with that is the Easy Deposit mod. Simply press any key you configure, and it'll take all of that material that was cluttering up our inventory, and now it is nicely placed into whatever chests we have organized, however we have organized them. This one is also pretty straightforward. It allows you to craft some forage. So right here we've got all of the materials for a large storage. So if we go ahead and click over here, you can see all of this is lined up and we can just make the large storage. We don't have to drag everything over from our inventory. We don't have to rearrange it. This one prioritizes your inventory first, then the open storage, and then every other storage you have available. So if you want to take things from a specific chest, just make sure that's the chest that's open, otherwise have it in your inventory like normal. Next up, we've got bulk crafting. Let's say you need to make a heck ton of nails and you don't feel like sitting here clicking craft for forever. Well, handily with this mod, if you hold down shift, you can see that changes to craft times 10. It's important to note that this doesn't mean it will craft exactly 10 of anything, it crafts 10 times the recipe. So with nails, as you can see up here, we've got our 3 times already modifier, meaning if I click this craft 10 button, we'll get 30 in total nails. So that just means that I can spam this, and now I have a ton of nails, and again, if I can plop this in here and then I press B, it means that my nails will all go conveniently where I've already placed them. So that's how that works. Next up, we've got better bowls. For some reason in the base game, whenever you eat something, you also consume the bowl. This mod simply gives you the bowl back. That's all it does. It's really simple, but it doesn't make sense unless you really want to add a little extra fiber to your diet, I guess. Bow release is also pretty simplistic that I don't know why it's something that's not in the base game. Normally, you can't actually do anything, like if you've fully drawn your bow, you have to fire it in the base game. Well, not anymore. So with this, all you need to do is hold down right mouse at the same time, then simply just let go of left click. There you go, we didn't shoot an arrow, we didn't lose any. Simple enough. And then finally, in this category, we've got battery indicators. So we've got our nice fresh receiver over here, and it's got a new battery in it. So if we look at it, you can see it's got 100% charge left. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward, but we've got this electric purifier over here that's been running for a little bit. So this only has an 80% battery. Basically, this just removes the step of picking up your battery and looking at how much durability it has left, and it gives you a better idea of how much battery you have in any of your materials without having to do that every single time. We've got more mods, but those are best shown in another world, so let's head over there. So you may remember that in the base game, you'll need a hook to collect any of these lovely materials that you see down below. Well, with the hand gathering mod, that's no longer a problem, because you can just pick it up. Frankly, this makes a lot of sense, because I've never really understood why you need a hook to gather sand on the bottom of the ocean. It's like, it's sand. Is it like sandstone, where it's incredibly hard? But this just makes underwater gathering materials a heck of a lot easier. This includes metal ores and all of that fun stuff that you'll find. So in general, it just makes gathering all of this fun stuff that you need a whole lot easier and less time consuming, because gathering with a hook can be a bit painful if you plan on gathering a lot of stuff. This is just a huge time save, and frankly it makes a lot of sense. Next up, we've got the Raft receiver motion display. So right now you can see we've got the location for the radio tower up, and you can see that there's a tiny red line in the middle of our screen. That shows the direction we're currently floating. So with a little help from our friend the Voyage mod, which I've also done another showcase on, you can see if we drop both of our sails, because both of those stack, the red line gets a little longer. And if we go ahead and open a few more sails, we can do a little bit of this stuff, and the red line will now be a big orange line, so it also shows you how fast you're going. And you can see it's got a handy dandy speed liner up in the top. But if we go ahead and rotate our sails to go in a slightly different direction, then you'll notice that our line has moved, and it actually shows you where you're pointing instead of you having to guess based on the relative location of your receiver and all that fun stuff. So it just makes navigating a tiny bit easier. In addition to this one, we've got the Easy Controls or Easy Interactions mod. This one basically just makes interacting with a lot of the screens that you're going to find a lot easier. So receiver controls, basically you can use this part of the receiver, and you can increase these numbers with your WASD keys, and then you can just pull the lever basically by strafing. So you can change all of these a lot more easily without having to click in a very specific place and all that fun stuff. So that's just an easy, nice change. The Easy Interaction mod also slightly alters the steering wheel. So in addition to making the steering wheel itself a little easier to use, you can see I'm now locked in place, and strafing again will change the direction I am pointing. So if I press forward, it will raise my stationary anchors, turn on and change the direction of motors to go in the direction of my wheel, and open and turn sails towards the direction of the wheel. So basically it just means that I could do this, and then kind of make myself go backwards if I press backwards, and turning, it just means that no matter what, my raft will be facing in the direction. We can also turn off all the engines and close all sails with the sprint key, which is generally shift, so if I press shift again, it'll close them, but then again if I just go W, it'll open them up, and we can just keep on going on our way. This basically makes it a lot easier so that you don't have to constantly manage everything along the way, and it does it all internally. So you don't have to worry about making sure all your anchors are up, you don't have to turn on all your engines, you don't have to lower your sails. Basically, you can just point yourself in the direction that the handy-dandy receiver tells you to go, and be on your way. Makes it a lot easier. But there's also one more thing that the Easy Interactions mod adds that's very specific, so we'll get to that. The final thing added by the Easy Interactions mod is actually a change to the crane in Tangaroa, this little box puzzle. Basically, if you click E on it, it means that you can now control the crane with WASD, and it makes it a lot easier, and then space will pick up the boxes and move them around. So it's just a little quality of life thing that makes this box game a lot more bearable rather than having to try and click all the specific buttons. And it also gives you a little bit better view of the puzzle from above, which I really like. So it's just a nice little detail that is very specific to this one scenario, but still really nice to have. So that does it for today's Quality of Life mod showcase. Again, mods are linked in the description, and I highly recommend checking them out and messing around with them in your own Raft worlds. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, be sure to let me know if there are any mods you'd like to see me cover, or if there's a Raft challenge you want me to attempt. I welcome any and all feedback. So thanks again, and as always, have a great day.